Hello, and welcome to episode 135 of the Plastic Posse podcast. This podcast is brought to you by some of our great partners, Microworld Games, Tankcraft, TMU USA, Bases by Built, and AK Interactive. More on our partners in just a bit, and also to all of our Patreon supporters, a big thank you for making all of this possible. We really appreciate your support. So now that we're here, let's catch up with what everyone's been working on, and I'm going to start with Grant.
Morning, guys. I finished my droid, so now starts the process of building the second one. So that'll be my next thing for the next couple of weeks. I'm heading out to Wine Country Expo in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, I believe it is. So if you're going to be around in the northern California area, San Francisco Wine Country area, definitely check the show out. It's going to be great. Talk more about it a little bit later about times and dates. That's about it, really. I'm don't have my car, so I haven't been driving around very much. I've been spending too much money online, so I've really got to wait for the trucks to show up with all my purchases. So I have to explain it to my wife. So we'll be good.
This droid you're building, is it another welder droid, or just a different kind of droid?
So ILM built two of them. So the one I built was the second one. So now I finally found all the parts to build the first one. So I'll have the two droids that ILM built for Return of the Jedi that they filmed, but they never got the movie. So, and this one was made from an M41 turret, a Bulldog turret, and a puppet head from a Scout Trooper is the bottom of it, this one. So this is a little bit different. So I'll start on that. Thanks to Mike Sabo, Jason Eaton, David White, and all the other guys that helped me find parts for this. So it's been a really good fun time. So I really do appreciate it.
Look forward to that. That's going to be super cool.
Thanks, man.
So for me, I just thought, with maybe the star we'd introduce. But, so for me, I have been working on two projects at once. Always a really terrible idea for me. But I'm continuing to work on the project, the 48 and 48 project that happened this weekend just gone. I decided to work on a 2015 release of an Earthix Mark 5B Spitfire. Not a good kit at all. It's that really soft, light grey plastic that Earthix released. It's like chewing gum sometimes. It's not good. So the plastic is warped and a lot of things don't fit that well. But hey, it's a 48 and 48. It was all about having fun and just getting a model together. So I've been filming that. I keep saying it. The people who make online modeling videos now on YouTube, especially in 4K. Big props to you because the footage so far is like 120 gigabytes of footage and it's nowhere near finished yet. So this is starting to beef up the hard drive, but working on that slowly. That video should come out post amps in a couple of weeks because it's very nearly there. And as well as working on that, I am working on my Ryefield Models KV1 1942 production. That's a great kit. The build is now fully finished. I've got the metal tracks done. Yesterday I ordered some blackening liquid for them because I feel really that does 90% of the work for like metal tracks, so I don't have to paint them and stuff. I do really like using that stuff. These were I've used full tracks in the past and they've just been really messy. They've had like the molding tabs still on them, or the holes not drilled out, or they've been bent. But this set was near perfect. I could just thread the metal wire through each link without any problem. I was just like, if all the sets are like this, I'll use them a lot more often again. So yeah, that's all done. I've made some tarps with green stuff because I really needed to bulk up the padding of where the commander of the tank sits, because it's an Alpine Miniatures Russian tank commander. Amazing sculpt, but he just doesn't sit quite right on the top. So just put a little bit of padding under him, so it now looks like he's naturally sitting there. I've used the pre-release RT model chicken wire on the tank, and I'm using the RT Dio 3D printed foliage. I'm using the fir trees on this one. I fly to America in 10 days, so I have a lot to do. I've started working on a base for this project. I'm going to leave it where I leave it, bring it with me, and work on it at Jackson's place whilst I'm there. But yeah, it's been a very productive past couple of weeks because everyone knows me. I love leaving it right till the last minute before I begin working on things.
I'm going to say it now, just so everyone hears it. There's 0% chance that KV is going to be done in the show at AMPS. And I feel very confident about this. With the airplanes for SMC, I was just messing with you because I honestly, and you can ask anyone because I talked to lots of people about it, I did believe that you were going to get them done. And I was just motivating you. This, however, There is zero effing chance that model is going to be in the contest finished. Zero chance.
Okay,
there's nothing you're
enough.
going to say that's going to make me change my mind.
But let's not forget how easy planes are in
That's
comparison
true.
to armor.
Even all that considered, you're not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. Like zero chance.
But I'm still going to try.
No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
You're going to get to like next weekend and be like, oh, I haven't done anything on this yet. Oh, I've been playing D&D and
my D&D nowadays
is say something really inappropriate there, but
I know what you were going to say. My D&D can't interfere anymore. It's at a sensible time. The only thing that can interfere is Jackson and Zach saying, get on Battlefield, which it does work a lot, to be fair.
JB, why do I feel like we're in the middle of like watching Rocky IV here?
I don't think Jensen's going to get it done. I love you, man, but I don't think so.
A model has to come with me.
How many days do you have from now until you board a flight to go to DC?
9 full days, because 10 would be including the day I get myself at 5 a.m.
I just don't.
Yeah, it's just
your lifestyle will not support this model being finished.
And the notion that you're going to work on this model at Jackson's house is just laughable. Like, it's not going to happen.
If Jackson was working the entire week, I could see the week off, potentially, but he's taken the week off. So you two are just going to fiddle fart around the whole time.
There is, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing quite like the support of your friends to get you through.
I mean, I didn't know he was taking the whole week off. So, I mean, all you two are going to do is practice playing Big Spoon, Little Spoon the whole time. Like, that's it. You're not going to be building models. That's for damn sure.
There's no chance. I love you, man, but there's no chance.
I don't even think, not to throw him under, but I don't even think he's got anything to bring yet. So
it's accurate. I mean, if you two sit down and build across each other at the kitchen table, maybe you both will have something to show for, but
that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, he's not bringing anything. There's no way.
Okay, I feel less called out now because it's not just me, so that's fine.
Yeah, but he's not the one acting like he's going to have anything done. He's said for months that he's probably not going to have anything done. You're the one that's like, I'm going to have this done, which is just not true.
I'm going to just recycle my Faith of a Nation from SMC and just pretend that the entire nation of the Netherlands is behind me.
No.
Yes.
Well, anyways, so me personally, I'm also trying to get stuff done for AMPS, and unlike Jensen, I will actually get at least one of these projects done before AMPS, because I have all of we're recording on Sunday the 29th, so I have all of next week off because I quit my old job and I start my new job on Monday, and since I was free to take off or free to start whenever I wanted, I decided to take a week off, which is nice. And then my wife and kids are going to be gone for most of the week because it's spring break and they're going to Florida, and I wasn't going to pay for a plane ticket to go to Florida because they're very expensive now. So yeah, but as far as like what I've actually been working on, not a whole lot. I haven't had a whole lot of bench time lately. Yeah, I've got the Sphinx, like it's ready for weathering. I mean, you could call it done if you really wanted to, because it's got a wash and all that stuff on it. So it's done. And my other idea plan was to bring my Firefly, which I pulled out, and if you guys on the call can see it sitting behind me, I got to paint the figures on that. I finally got I ordered some heads that I've never seen before. They're like from Firestore Models or something like that. It's the only freaking World War II British or Commonwealth headset that has a guy wearing the goggles. Like no other headset has them where like they're over his eyeballs. They all are either like up above, like on his cap, or I think maybe I've seen one where he's like got it down around his neck or something. But I've been looking for a dude that has the goggles over his eyes, and this set has it. And I think they're new. I've never heard of them before. I bought them from Last Cavalry. They were out of stock, but he sent them to me. I got them 2 days ago. So because the reference that I'm using, the one, I think the driver, he's got his head poking up through the hatch and he's wearing his goggles. So I got to put him on a Panzer Art body and I got the other two guys. They're done. They just need to be painted, and I got to build. I tried originally to resculpt a mini art figure into the pose of the guy that's hanging out of the co-driver's hatch that's not used on a Firefly, but I could not get the pose right. I kind of got it close, but I couldn't get him to fit because, and I'm sure other people have found this too, the geometry of a figure does not match always the geometry of a real human being, especially when you're looking at Shermans. A lot of times, two people can fit in a commander's hatch, but two figures typically will not fit in a commander's hatch, which is annoying because there's a lot of cool pictures where there's two guys poking up out of the hatch. And it's almost nearly impossible to do with figures without radically modifying them or just sculpting new ones so they actually physically fit. So the way this guy is coming out of the hatch, he's like kind of out of it, and he's clearly standing on the ammo box, and he's got his one leg like in a Captain Morgan pose, and he's got his arm down like on the edge of the hatch. You can't physically get that configuration to fit on the scale model using any even parts of stock figures. I got him close. It didn't look right. So I'm just going to kind of punt and just, but he's just not going to be the exact same pose, which whatever. But those are my two plans. I wanted to get other stuff done. But I know that I won't. So I'm not, if I can get these two done and I have time to finish, like the initial Lima, then I'll work on that. And I also have to fix, Dixie Belle because the machine gun got broken at the, IPMS show that I went to. Cause of course it did. It flies across the world on a train and a car to a European show and doesn't get broken. It goes to one show in America and someone breaks it. So there you go.
Man, sorry, TJ. That kind of sucks.
It's not a big deal. It's the machine gun just popped out of the cradle. It doesn't look like the cradle is broken, so I just got to pop it back in and then touch up some paint on the barrel because, of course, they chipped the paint off the barrel. But it's just more like, really? Like, I literally flew this thing across the world. It didn't get broken. And it goes to one freaking show in the United States and gets broken. It's just proved everything that I already thought.
You're lucky it didn't disappear. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You're lucky it didn't get broken off and flung into the oblivion.
Yeah.
Well, I have been working on a number of things. We'll start with the 48 and 48. I want to shout out Jensen and Mr. Grant for helping out with that, and especially our buddy Mark Bradley is a huge part of the stream. I want to thank everybody that came in and bid on things and participated. We were able to raise in the U.S. Portion of that event over $10,500 for Models for Heroes, which is really incredible. And again, the community support was fantastic. So we got that all wrapped up, and I was able to actually, subsequent to that, my build for that was the Airfix boxing of the Thunder Models case tractor from World War II, and actually brought that home this week and got that primed and then got that unprimed because after I was done, I had a couple runs. I just didn't do a good job, so I stripped that. I'll reprime that. And also, based on the color I wanted a lighter primer anyway. So I've been working on that, and then still continue planning for the Rocky Mountain Expo in May, working on that, and just lots of stuff going on. And then this coming weekend, I am headed to Denver to go see my friend Mr. Benani and a bunch of other people for Commies Fest. It's a fun show. We always have a good time. Lots to do over there. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to a break, but yeah, that's what I've been working on, man. Mostly the 48 and the 48 and getting that tractor done. So I've got a bunch of models on my shelf now that I feel like I've got the construction down, but I need to start like painting and weathering and getting some models finished. So that'll be a point of focus after Commies to work on that.
Nice. It's going to be a good time when you come visit Scott, and major shout out to you, Mark, and Samo for the 48 and 48. I think that was a huge lift, but there was a lot of movement, and I think that's a new record set by you and the Americans. So it was great. It was great to watch, and unfortunately, I couldn't participate, which leads me into my update. And last weekend, I was over in Pittsburgh. I had the opportunity to go back and do some recruiting at my alma mater, and luckily stayed the weekend and got to go to the Three Rivers IPMS show, recorded some content there, saw a lot of old friends, which is great. Nuke Man and Dustin, and it was a really good time. Kevin Kelly, and a lot of good stuff on the table. I'll be honest, this is the first show I didn't buy anything at. I bought nothing there, absolutely nothing, which is pretty wild. Because usually I buy a lot because the deals are good, but I don't know. I just didn't find anything.
I was going to ask you the other day, JB, if you forgot your wallet or what was
No,
going on there.
I went to the ATM and had fresh, crisp 50s and 20s and just couldn't find anything to fit my fancy. There were a few items that I saw and I was like, well, if it's here when I come back, I'll buy it. And then it wasn't. I'm like, oh, that's a sign. So, but outside of that show, it's been going really well. I recorded content there as well, and I'll drop that on YouTube today. I just need to get some music added to it. And then from a modeling perspective, I don't get much done during the week these days. I feel like I work all the time during the week, and yesterday being Saturday, had the opportunity to kind of just block out the world and sit at my desk, and I was able to finish off a vignette that I'd been working on, the group build in the PPP page that was started by Steve Baker around the Ming Jeep. So I finished that. And I posted it yesterday. Reception's been great. I got to give a lot of replies because I really appreciate everybody that said something. But it was a really fun build, and it kind of all came together over the last 48 hours. One of the things I'll point out that I'm really happy about is how the figurehead came out. And I'll just be honest, listeners, if you've never painted figures or you want to get better, just go watch Calvin Tan's Quick Gen set video tutorial on AK's channel, I believe it is. Damn, it's really good. I literally followed that. I was on Zoom with Jackson and Grizz one night, and I just sat down, opened that up, and about an hour and a half later, I had a painted face that I was really happy with. So his video is super straightforward, lists the products, lists the techniques, and it's high res. And what I really like is when he's painting, the paint doesn't dry right away. So if you pause it, you can actually see the glare from where it's still fresh, and you can start to understand and map where you need to put those colors. So I think it's one of the best videos out there, and I'd highly, highly recommend it. With that momentum, I kept going, and I have other figures. I have figures nearly finished for the T-58. I have these old Dragon figures that were sent to me. And they look like they've been carved from a bar of soap, but with some zenithal lighting and AK Quick Gen, like they don't look terrible. And I also have a Firefly crew that I'm working on now because AMPS is coming up soon. And speaking of AMPS, I will likely have all my projects except the Firefly. I'll continue to work up into the buzzer beater because I'll give my work to Mark, who's going to drive there. I'll probably give it to him at Commies, so he'll just store it up in north of Denver, I should say, and then drive over. But I've been talking a lot because there's been a lot of stuff going on. But I'll yield the floor.
Yeah, just a couple things really quick. I wanted to give a shout out to Stan Spooner. The Model Box had their official grand opening this weekend. It looks amazing. Looks like it had a pretty good crowd, so way to go, Stan. We had a chance to visit, as you guys will recall. That's really cool. And then just had our second video crest 10,000 views on YouTube. So that's that channel's going really, really well. And then we have another big announcement later in this show. So stay tuned to hear from us on that. But anyway, a couple cool things happening around the community. Oh, and then Robbie Knopf has been doing some great updates. Went to a couple Blue Jays games, and this morning posted a picture of the enormous queue to get into that place for Heritage Con.
Yeah, one quick thing on that. This year, they did it a little differently. If you did not pre-buy a ticket, they were not going to let you in the door. That show has gotten so popular that They have to control how many people go in the museum, and the only way they can do that is pre-sell tickets. So this year is the first year for that. It looks incredible. I'm jealous. I wish I was there. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I had plans to go to that, but I could have since I am off tomorrow. But yeah, no one else could go, and I didn't really want to drive from Northern Virginia to Hamilton, Ontario by myself because that's a long drive. And on top of that, I have to be back at home tomorrow because I have to teach school. I'm off from work, but I still have to teach my class. I probably could have gotten out of it, but I really try not to miss class because, I mean, it is a job. So yeah, that's why I didn't go. And I was really looking forward to it because I had a great time last year when JB, you and I and Aaron, unfortunately, came with us. But
That was a blast.
maybe next year. Yeah, it's just a shame Aaron was there.
Yeah, can't win everything. Guy needed to get out.
But hey, your vignette looks really good, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, it does.
I've already fixed some things. Some people had mentioned some comments, and you were even joking about the icicles. And when I took the picture, I'm like, man, those do look like they're angled out. Because
they looked fine to me. I was just giving you a hard time.
But when I put them on, they were vertical. But when the glue / I guess UV resin I used, when it fully cured, it kind of pulled them out a little bit. So literally yesterday, I just went back and just bent them back, and like all I needed to do was like literally push it, hold it, and then it kind of just stayed there. And then one other thing, Jackson mentioned your 50 cal is all screwed up, and it classic. Like I feel like he was born from someone that was on hyperscale because he breaks out the red lines and friggin' protractor, and it's like, dude. But he wasn't wrong. It was the kit itself. But I actually went and I carefully bent the 50 cal barrel up a little bit, so now it should be it should be in line.
Bases by Bill is your partner for creating attractive display bases for your scale aircraft, armor, or ship, with a variety of products and custom solutions. When your naval aircraft project is complete, choose Japanese or U.S. carrier decks covering the 1930s to today, or come ashore with airfield-style bases that elevate the presentation of any build. Do you need something truly special? Bases by Bill also makes custom cherry hardwood bases with engraved details or full-color placards, unit emblems, and national insignia. With the show season here, Bases by Bill can create major trophies and 1, 2, 3, or gold, silver, bronze awards. We work with clubs and national organizations, crafting awards of all types and for all budgets. Visit basesbybill.com because there's always something new at Bases by Bill.
All right. So I got a little bit of an announcement. Zach Grizzle and I are doing a little, you call it a buddy build, and it's a super low commitment, super, laid back and chill. But him and I have been talking about doing a Warhammer tank, either 30K or 40K, for like over 2 years probably, since maybe even before Night Shift did his. And I finally went and bought one yesterday when I was out I took my daughter shopping for spring break to buy some clothes. I'm like, you know what? As long as we're out, I'm going to swing by the hobby shop. So I did, and I bought a Kratos heavy assault tank, the big. They are not cheap, which sucks. But anyway, so we're kind of, it's going to be in the same vein as like the Jeep group build, where like super low commitment. It's just, hey, if you have one or if you're interested in doing one, and it could be any kind of tank, doesn't have to be the big one. And the whole idea is to do it like we do with historical scale modeling, very similar to what Martin did with his Sakaran tank, which now was like 2 years ago. I went back and looked at the video this morning. That came out in 2024. So yeah, if you're interested, get one, or if you have one in the stash, I put a picture in the Posse group, and at least one other person was like, "Hey, I have one of these. We should do a buddy build." And so I talked to Zach, and we're like, "Yeah, let's do it." So yeah, even if you want a 3D print one, we don't care. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. Just something fun, super laid back. There's really no start date, really no end date. Just get one if you have one, build it, put pictures in the group, and maybe I'll come up with a hashtag and I'll drop it on there. So yeah, just want to let everyone know. Yeah, we are doing a little buddy build. It's not even really called a group build. So that's pretty much it. All right, so let's move on to some models in the Plastic Posse group that caught our eye, and I'm going to start with JB and what he liked.
Yeah, I'm going to call out, this is a subject I always like, but Conrad Works M1 Super Sherman going up the little hill. I thought it was really well executed. I've gotten a Super Sherman fix, lately where I'm just a little bit obsessed. I think they're such unique subjects, taking, a classic World War II vehicle and then just piling every piece of, extra on it, whether it's, those unique Israeli features, stowage. So I just thought it was pretty well executed, and I appreciated him sharing it in the group. So definitely calling out the M1 Super Sherman by Conrad.
That's a good choice. That also caught my eye. I know it's got that color TJ doesn't like on it, but I really liked it. I thought it was a good build. I want to talk about for my pick. Man, I'm so sorry, Jeff, if I get your name wrong. Sorry, but Jeff Versweibel, I think is how you say his name. But anyway, he's been working on the 1/16 scale M3, M3A1, Andy's half track, and he's been kind of approaching it a lot like Spud does, where he'll work on a back panel or he'll work on a sub assembly, and that his paint work is really incredible. But man, he worked on the Modus, and he used an Aber kit to kind of spruce that up and make sure apparently the barrel is straight. That's a thing. but man, his finish work on the M2, he did a really good job of doing metallic highlights, but keeping it subtle. A lot of times you sort of get that, black or very dark gray, and then a lot of really, pronounced metallic highlights. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I really thought the finish and the patina of his Modus was just next level.
Yeah, Scott, I do agree. It looks really, really good. Speaking of Spud, I chose Spud's Tiger 1, and the build is done. It's been done for a little bit. He's painted it, but he went in and, stripped it and then repainted it, and it looks so much better. Sorry, Spud, but your other paint scheme was just not there. I think this paint scheme looks so much better. It looks really, really good, and it just proves that, sometimes you do have to step back and redo what you did before, and great work, Spud. I really like it.
Yeah, no, I got to agree with saying earlier, the repaint, it just looks so much better now it's repainted. No, they looked bad before, but this one just, leaps and bounds improvement. So I'm going to pick a thing with wings, and I'm picking the slow scale modelers Edward BF109E1 48th scale. That's not one of Edward's better kits. It's an older release, and he's built it really nice. And I really like the the early 109 schemes that don't have the modeling, like the really early 1939-40 schemes. There's just RLM 70, 71, and 65. Yeah, it used a bit of pre-shading, a splatter template, so there is depth and there's variation in the paintwork as well. Painted the crosses on it and then used decals for the rest of the markings. It looks really nice. I think those early 109s look really pretty, and he's done a really good job with it.
I agree with that, Jensen. That really caught my eye as well. And like you, I really like those E-model BF109s, Battle of Britain and pre-Battle of Britain. They're just really, really distinctive and sharp.
Oh yeah, really good work on that one.
Yeah, that was on my list to choose, but I instead chose Christian Wolf's Borgward, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm sure JB, I'm sure
Borgward.
Borgward. BIVs, the Das Werk kit. It's like one of those ridiculous, like late war German things. And the little cool detail that everyone's commented on in his post about it is the little bottle of vodka with the spilled glass next to it. Neat little touch. It looks really cool. We've talked about Christian's work before. It's really good. And he had another one that Jensen wanted to pick. Was it like the ME 163?
Yeah.
But I made Jensen pick someone else because we can't pick two of the same people. So he had a runner up. That also really good work.
But yeah, speaking of me, I'm going to now take you through some shows we have coming in the next couple of months. So on April the 5th, we have Commies Fest at Jefferson County Fairgrounds at 15200 West 6th Avenue, Golden, Colorado. On April 11th, Wine Country Model Expo in Petaluma, California. I always love these names I have to suddenly try and pronounce. On April 12th, I'm going to do this one on purpose now. IPMS Niagara Frontier presents BuffCon 41 at the Nice Event Center in Cheektowaga, New York. Details at IPMSNiagaraFrontier.com. On April 17th and 18th, we have the AMPS Nationals in South Bend, Indiana. Very much looking forward to that. And then we have the Rocky Mountain Expo on May 22nd and 23rd in Salt Lake City, Utah. Details can be found at RockyMountainExpo.com.
Sorry, I want to talk about AMPS Nats real quick. For anyone that has not gone and wants to go, South Bend is surprisingly cool. That's the first time I've ever been there. We went there 2 years ago. Lots of really good restaurants. I know we kind of touched on that when we talked to Neil Stokes. But man, we went out to breakfast at that place called Pegs. It's kind of around the corner from the venue. Fantastic breakfast. There, I wanted to bring it up when we were talking to Neil. There's like a burger place that me, Zach, John Hale, I think I can't remember who else went with us. A couple other people went. Really good hamburgers and French fries. It's like a bar, like a pool bar, pretty much. And then I can't remember the name of that pizza place that we got pizza that last night.
That was
That
good.
was We're getting that again because it was so good. I don't know what it was about the pizza, but it was like, man, I don't know if it's just because we were having a good time and had been doing some drinking, but I was like, this pizza is damn good. And I'm of the belief that there's no such thing as bad pizza. There's good pizza and less good pizza. This was good pizza.
I am even more excited now. So you mentioned pizza, hamburgers, a place that does pool. Sounds great.
Well, and then also when we showed up and we went to dinner that night, there's a Mexican restaurant downtown that was really good, and it was empty because we were like, I wonder if they could fit 20 of us, and sure as hell they fit 20 of us.
They have those comically large margaritas
yes,
that are like, they just reminded me, if anyone's seen Wayne's World, when Wayne and Garth go out with Rob Lowe's character to sign the deal, and Garth has that gigantic like fish bowl of a drink. That's what these reminded me of. I know I got one. I think you got one, JB. Aaron got one. Yeah. So look, South Bend's awesome. It's going to be a good show, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Not looking forward to the 9-hour drive, but I'm looking forward to everything else.
Well, think of the company you'll have on the drive.
The other thing is Jensen's talking about hamburgers and pizza. Dude, you need to look at the appetizer menus. That's what you're going to be able to eat.
But yeah, honestly, like I've budgeted for how much I used to be able to eat. I'm going to leave with money. It's fine, but I'm still going to eat like I am £300, or I think I can.
All right. Before we get back to TJ, I wanted to bring in some listener feedback and also talk about another show. Our friend Boss Slots sent me a little message, and it just says here, I want to take the opportunity to invite all the Posse listeners to the upcoming Tweno, I think. It's TWENOT. So again, apologies.
Twenote, I believe.
Yeah, okay. And it's for the Dutch MAVFA, which is kind of their version of AMPS, he's saying, is celebrating the 50th anniversary in the Overloon War Museum on June 13th, 2026. Entrance is free to all how'd you say that, JB?
I thought it was Twenote.
Okay,
I could be wrong, though.
Entrance is free to all members, which means it's basically cheaper to become a member than buy an entrance fees. There's also going to be a lot of traders and a big contest. And then, of course, there's the Overloon Museum as well. So wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Thanks, boss. Appreciate that. And then also got this really cool piece of feedback. We don't share probably enough of this kind of stuff, but I got this from Wesley Scale Models, and it says, "Hey, Scott, I hope you are well. I just wanted to thank you for the amazing work you do with the podcast. I live in South Africa, and scale modeling is not a very big hobby here. So every time I see you guys have uploaded a new episode, I'm super excited. You guys feel like friends, even though I've never met any of you. So please keep up the great work. And I hope to one day meet you all and thank you in person. Warm regards, Wes Becker." Really appreciate the note, Wes, and sent you a response offline. But I think that's kind of the first time we've heard from anybody in South Africa. So appreciate Wes kind of getting into the spirit of the posse. Back to you, TJ.
All right. That was cool. Thanks, Scott. So for our first discussion topic this episode, I saw Ken Childress post this in the Posse group, and I thought it was pretty good. I feel like we may have talked about this before. I can't remember. But if we have, I think it might have been in a slightly different context. And Ken was asking about if anyone has ever felt peer pressure when it comes to the hobby, and in a very specific case. And it was you started a project with like really good intentions, and you just completely lose steam during it. But your friends and maybe people on the internet are like, "Hey, this is really good. You should, when are you going to get this finished?" So on and so forth. I don't know which exact model he was thinking about. I have a feeling it was his what if A34 Comet, which I've told him numerous times is like freaking amazing. Is with the desert scheme. It's like got some of the best chipping I've ever seen. And I thought it was like a really good and kind of insightful post, and there was a lot of really good responses on it. And a lot of people mentioned like group builds. I don't know if that's exactly what maybe he was thinking about, but that does, happen. Like you get started with a group build with really good intentions and you just kind of lose steam. But Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to open up to the group and see what you guys thought. I mean, I've definitely kind of felt that way before. I've with more than one build, I'm sure, but yeah, I don't know. I want to see if what you guys thought about it.
Yeah, I think group builds is probably TJ, to your point, not exactly what Ken was talking about, but I think it's a big part of it, you know. And I think when you talk about feeling peer pressured into a build, modeling tends to be very personal and individual. And I think that group builds and buddy builds and those kinds of things where the motivation is external, I think it crosses that line probably for a lot of people, and probably unintentionally, right? It's a double-edged sword. Like, we'll just take a random, like, Steve Baker's Jeep build, and they can a group build like that can generate interest in a new kit and really bring it home. Our Ryefield models T3485 group build is another great example of that. But if you're in the middle sort of what you're doing and you're planning, you probably weren't thinking along those lines. And so then all of a sudden it's like, oh, a group build. And, Justin Lentz with his March Madness build. Yeah, that's another example. So I can see where Ken is coming from. But man, I just want to echo your thoughts on his A34. That paint scheme should have been put on Comets. It's such a great build and such a great finish of that. So anyway, yeah, I think any buddy build, group build, anything that's external probably is just easily moves into this territory for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think for me, one build in particular that I think of when he's mentioned this was my MiG-21R, which I absolutely love. I know I've mentioned multiple times, the MiG-21 is by far my favorite jet ever. There's just something about it I just love so much. And the one I did with the Cuban blue and green scheme, I absolutely love. I love the scheme. I lost steam on it because I effed the decals up. I peeled them when I probably didn't need to peel them, and I damaged them, which I can fix. I just haven't fixed. And then all the stencils just gave me fits, and it has been sitting in a almost ready to finish state for probably 2 years now. And every once in a while, Steve will ping me and be like, "Hey man, what are you doing with that MiG-21?" I'm like, "Nothing." Justin Lentz will anytime we chat, he'll bring it up. I'm like, I just can't. I want to finish it so bad because I feel like I've done really good work on it thus far, but knowing that I have to fix those freaking decals, which it's not that hard. It's circles and stars, like all things that I can do. And Steve even offered me, he's like, "I have that decal sheet. I'll send it to you." I'm like, yeah, I can't be bothered at this point. And I look at it every day because it sits on the other side where I keep a lot of my like spare stuff. So anytime I go to work out, which 3 days a week, I walk right past it and I see it sitting there. And I'm like, damn, I really should finish that. And then I think about what I have to do to finish it. And I'm like, no, thanks.
The common thing there is Steve's a big fan of your build of that. And we both mentioned how much of a big fan we are of Ken's Comet. I think, again, from an outsider's perspective, we're just saying, hey, man, I really love that build. Where is it? What's going on with it? I really want to see that come across the finish line. But, if you're in a place where you're just not feeling it, like you've said, or you've got a lot on your plate, that might maybe come across to somebody as, more pressure than they want. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. I mean, there's some problems. I know I've been in the middle of group builds or buddy builds or whatever you want to call them. And I've just kind of, like you say, lose interest, or you do something and then you're not there anymore. And then my category will change. I don't want to build armor anymore for a reason, some other reason. So I'll move to figures. And then I think, oh, well, I need to go back and finish this. And maybe that's, something that can affect people. I just feel that I have the same problem with, and we've talked about this before, is show builds. When people say, oh, it's a P47 for whatever reason. I just don't, I don't understand that reasoning. or maybe it's because they all have P-47s that they know they've already built and they can just bring them and do something with that. But I can't get into them. I have a tendency to lose interest if I'm stuck in something like that for a while. And it's personal. I mean, it is really. It's all me. It's nothing else. It's just, and I feel bad about it sometimes when I don't finish builds. I've got a Jag Panther that's like 90% done. That's sitting behind me, and I just haven't got to the last 10% of it, and then painting and everything like that. And it's just one of those things. I see it every day, and I know that it's just all I have to do is put tracks on one side and do some other odds and ends, and it's done. But it just it's hard. I do feel pressure sometimes. I think all of us do, and it's not like the pressure that you need. That it's like major pressure, but there's pressure there that says, hey, you need to finish this, and so it's just one of those things. I think you have to just gut it out, do what you can. If you can't do it right away, just hold off. It might take a year or two, but just, you'll finish it.
Yeah, I have so many shelf queens. It's ridiculous. And Scott reminds me every other day, I feel like, about every other one. But no, there are some tactical examples I can think of where peer pressure in a good way to go, get through a certain stage of the build to get something finished. And I hearken back to a model that Jensen has, which is I'll call it the geometric T34. When I first painted it, it really looked like it had jaundice, for crying out loud. And the tones were all off and wrong. And I was really upset. It's weird. Like, I remember having the conversation with Scott, and it was nearly 5 years ago, which is crazy because I was still living in Pennsylvania. I still remember having the conversation at my kitchen table, and it's like a core memory. I don't know why for this one only, but we talked about the piece, and I had it in my hand, and that was one where peer pressure in a good way was like, hey man, why don't you take a look at, if it's really yellow, what if you add a blue filter to it? And sure enough, that actually brought back the coolness of the finish. And that is one explicit, very tactical example that I can think of that rises to the top in terms of having a conversation with a peer, working through a project, and getting that extra nudge to go forward. And I'll use one more example. I remember, I think when I first moved out here in Denver too, I put all my whips on my desk, which filled up the whole thing. And that dialogue with the community was very helpful too, because there were some that I picked out and finished that had been languishing for a very, very long time. So I think peer pressure is in a good way can really help modelers get through some certain projects that otherwise would probably die on the vine.
Yeah. It's like I've been sat here just thinking. It's all of my pressure comes from myself. I've been sat here thinking, still don't really know what to say. Yeah, all the pressure I get for building models comes from me, and I already know where half of that comes from. I sometimes maybe over publicize my plans, and then I feel that absolute commitment. I have to do it because I've said I'm going to do it, which just instantly now it feels like an obligation. I don't want to do it. I've never really had a negative pressure from friends or other modelers, which I love. People I've reached out and be like, oh yeah, I heard you were working on this, or the guys in chat will be like, hey, there's a show coming up, crack on. And it does get me to do it. I'm like a train made of helium. I'm great when I've got momentum, but it takes nothing to derail me. It's frustrating because I know when I'm on it, and I know what I can get done and get lots done. But it takes these small. I was saying to Scott before we started recording, I can be working on my KV. I walk to go to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden I'm playing darts. I just boom, my distractions are gone. The only time I feel there was a pressure is when I was working on for, I think it was the Texas IPMS Nats. I really didn't like how my Tamiya Jagdpanzer was coming. The L70 was turning out. I put the AK texture mud on it. I was just like, nah, that's it. I've textured it. I've ruined it. It looks hideous. It's stupid. And I think I vividly remember JB, TJ, and Scott all saying, just don't look at it for a day. Like, walk away from it and come back with fresh eyes. I was like, nah, it's going in the box. And then I did. I came back to it a couple of months later. I was like, there's nothing wrong with this at all. This is a perfectly fine model. And I know Jackson actually was going through the same thing the other day with his Mini Centurion. Not so much a pressure, but having other eyes and another mindset encourage or maybe even just inquire about what you're doing can just quickly really snap you back in, like make you re-lock in. So did I answer the question? Not really. But yeah, I have found when people ask like, hey, I heard you're working on this, or how's this going? And I know, Scott, your message quite a few like, hey, how's the KV? I'm just like, good question. I need to get back on that, and I will. So it's not so much a pressure, but it's more of a social encouragement. That's how I see it, and I really like it. It does help me a lot. But yeah, that's kind of where I see it.
All right. Yeah, that was cool. A lot of good insight. It's more or less what I thought everyone would say. I mean, I would say, feel free to share your experiences with it in the posse, but obviously everyone kind of already has. But yeah, if you didn't see that post from Ken Childress, check it out and feel free to contribute. He got a lot of responses on it. So yeah, I thought that was a nice little discussion.
Yeah, I agree, TJ. One of the things I'd love to bring up is a new resource for our listeners. So if you go to plastic-posse.com, you'll see our brand new website that lists everything about our show, whether it's YouTube videos, episodes, a little bit about ourselves as hosts. And then what we're really looking to build out is a community tool that people can come and use, whether it's a scale calculator, the paint reference guide, hobby shop finder. There's a lot of things in our minds that we're looking to employ at this website, and just create a tool that people want to go and use, and something that makes your life easier. I can't tell you how many times that I'm not going to lie, a lot of the scale calculators out there just don't, I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb and don't understand how to use them, but I feel like their interface is pretty rough. So we're looking to add that to the website, which is already there. There's a good paint conversion chart. So please, listeners, take a look, make recommendations on what you'd love to see, because, what's nice is there's the capabilities today to develop these things. And yeah. So Scott, what are your thoughts here? I know you've been giving me a crap ton of feedback during development, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, shout out to JB. He's a busy guy. But for him to find the time to put together not just a website for the first time for the posse, because we really haven't ever had one, but second of all, to put together something that I think is going to be a really great resource for our community. I just really, really appreciate the work you put into it. But yeah, I think what's going to set this apart is, first of all, you've got the posse business, right? You can find the episodes really, really quickly. It's a really good looking website, but also the tools and resources, the paint tools that are there. There's a page there with where you can go to find STL files. I mean, it's just it's our attempt to make something that's really, really useful. And I think it's a fantastic first start. We'd invite listeners to do what I've done, which is to give John a little bit of feedback. If you guys see something that you think, oh man, wouldn't it be great to see this? Or, hey, can you add this? This isn't maybe where it needs to be. Send us that feedback to plasticpossepodcast@gmail.com. Or you can message us on Facebook or whatever. But yeah, John, I just think it's a lot of work. I think it looks really, really good, and I feel great about where we're starting out.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I think it's the only way to go is up from here with all the things. Yeah, there's so much to come. I think we have a huge opportunity. Also, what you'll find there is shows. So what we're also looking to create is a single source for all of the shows out there, whether it's international, domestic, affiliated to an organization or not. We hope to create that single source where you can come see the show, where it's at, even start to bring in recommendations where to stay, and just ensure that the modeler, has everything at their fingertips to have a cool experience. So yeah, listeners, like Scott said, if you have feedback, more than welcome to listen to it, try to employ some of the things that you're looking for. We've already got some feedback from our Patreon people, which has been great. And I'll be looking to update the site today and do another rev on it before this episode drops on Tuesday.
Yeah, so again, www.plastic-posse.com. Check it out.
Just want to add that I also think it's really good. I was looking at it this morning. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Jackson's made himself a website, and now it's like, man, I should make myself a website too.
I'll be doing a personal one too. It's fun. It's what I'm looking to do too, and maybe this is a feature we can put in our website, but I want to create a tool that it's a build log, but like something that's easy where, you can upload your project, have everything there. Yeah, the world is our oyster now. So
Yeah.
super excited to dive in more. And I've actually thought of, creating an app for like shows when we go to that show SMC in October, like create an app for us to use. So anyway, and what I think too is there's going to be a lot of capabilities for judging too, and the tools that you can create for it. So anyway, I'll keep updating it.
Funny story. My cat Milo, while I was making coffee yesterday, there was a tiny little moth, like a tiny little guy, flying above my head that somehow got into the house. And my cat parkoured off my cheeks, up my back, to get above my head to try to catch this moth. And I did not see it coming. And his claws are very sharp. And it hurt really, really bad. And then I went in, I brought my wife some coffee because she was still in bed. And I told her what happened. And she laughed at me hysterically. I did not at the time think it was very funny because it hurt. Because when you don't know pain is coming, I feel like it hurts worse. I don't know. I was not expecting it. But he literally dug his claws into my cheeks to propel himself up and then bounced like a parkour move off my body. And my wife's like, wait a minute, the cat parkoured off your I was like, yes, he did. And it really hurt. Like it's not funny, it hurts. She's like, no, that is actually really funny.
I wish I knew better how to respond to TJ's story. That's a classic. Anyways. Well, hey Jensen, what time is it over there?
Step right up, model aces and hobby hotshots. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The Plastic Posse is bringing the home front some real swinging style. Whether you're trimming sprues or painting with panache, do it dressed to the nines in our official merchandise. Snap up a snazzy t-shirt, slip into a sharp sweater, or slap a sticker on your gear. And don't forget our luxurious lounge trousers, perfect for those late-night model sessions. So tune in, glue on, and step out in Posse pride. Remember, folks, it's not just plastic, it's a lifestyle.
Boy, we're going to need zoot suits.
All right, guys. Well, that was a really good episode. It's always good getting a chance to talk to you guys. I'm glad that everyone was able to make it today, even Jensen, who unfortunately will be coming to the United States in a couple of weeks. So yeah, can't wait for that. And once again, we'd like to thank all of our wonderful sponsors: Micro World Games, Tankcraft, Tamiya USA, Basis by Bill, and AK Interactive. Hopefully, we get to see a bunch of y'all at AMPS in about a month. And if not, hope you catch you the next one. See you guys.
One of the ways that you can help to support the Plastic Posse is to become a Plastic Posse Outrider. If you want to become a Plastic Posse Outrider, you don't have to, but it's really easy. You can even do it wearing comfortable clothes, like, say, lounge trousers. Just go to our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Plastic Posse Podcast, and you can set up a recurring donation there that starts at as little as $1. All of these contributions help offset the cost of bringing you the Posse. There's some great benefits to being an Outrider. You get to support our community, help things like merch, donations, award sponsorships, lots of different things that we do to support the community. You get early access to podcasts. You get premium access to the five of us, chance to appear on a podcast, and other exclusive Triple P content and social events at model shows.
Let's recognize our amazing deputy marshals. These loyal contributors support what the Posse does, and we genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. They are, in no particular order, Chaz Teets, Matt Parvis, Jacob Ford, Robert Klein, Todd Reach, Brett Avance, Brett Johnson, Angel Garcia, Carl Doran, Pat Brown, Ryan Smith, Alamo Squadron, Model Fiesta, Curtis Towers, Winston Gould, The Quiet Corner Modeler, Daryl Miller, Rob Booth, David Clark, Robbie Knopfs, Wesley Becker, Eric Daglish, David Wassel, Matt Tutman, Zach Pease, Brett Marcan, Greg Williams, Nick Wolf, Sean Earl, Black Hat Scale Models, Craig Jarbo, Red Beach One Studios, James Morano, Mike Norris, Stephen Rodwell, Rick Cooper, Eric Ravina, John Hale, Eric Kane, Logan Hansen, Tim Gidcombe, Dan Newman, Robert Blocker, Tyler Moore, Derek Post, Craig Flynn, Ken Childress, Drew Gardner, Scott Hall, Frank Perrone, Jeremy Diamond, Terry Wilkinson, Chris Lovewell, Andrew Callis, Ethan Idmill, Steve Baker, Jay Kidd, Brandon Gentry, Lee Fogel, Robert Klein, Mark Ewing, Toadman, Model Doc, Greg James, Les Percola, John Everett, Uncle Buck, Mark Bradley, Eric Brubaker, Jeremy Moore, DB Scale Model Studio, Jeremy Elliott, Mike Talley, Previous Seat, Mediocre Middle-Aged Modeler, Dan Knopfel, and JC Osborne.
let's not forget our posse foreman. This crew is made up of posse outriders who give the deputy marshals a hand. And we also want to thank them for their support. Number one, Tommy Workshop. Tommy, thank you so much for your support on the 48 and 48, along with everybody else. Andy, the voice of Bob, Graham, Keith, Dwayne, AK Armor, Bill, Casey, Theresa, Russ, Stefan, Mikkel, LeVar, Gil, Mike, Michael, Scott, Emery, The Krieger, Ozzy Modeler, Jeff, Eddie, Ross, Warhoff Models, G. Baker, Tom Stuff, Crazy Loca, Len, Cliff, Damien, Cody, Nukeman Mike, Paul, iBones Models, Mr. Grizz, Jackson, Joel, Chris, Jamie, MD Models, Papa Steve Munsell, JV, Eric, Matthew, and David. And of course, our $1 and free Posse Outriders. Thanks, guys.
Sorry, I lost my place.
And then we'll get shots of Jensen on there. Change the subject. I really love these new paints from AK, the Quick Gens.
Yeah.
Man, they're really easy to use. I really like them for figure painting.
Yeah. Have you tried their new wash set? Their acrylic wash set?
I haven't. I've been diluting the contrast for like a wash. So I've been working like, gosh, these Alpine figures, they're so nice that I wasn't going to use the one guy on my cupola because, damn it, I picked the version that has these like two little vertical things here. So when he sits, these drive up his so I'm going to just rip them off and then I'll sit him on top of it.
Cool.
But yeah, they're super easy to use. And I'm actually really happy how these modern figures came out. Like they look like they're carved from a bar of soap, but with those Quick Gens and some black lines, like they actually don't look bad. So I'm just going to get their faces painted today. And I painted his face gray because I'm following that Calvin Tan video and holy it's easy as shit. So
yeah,
but yeah,
it's really good. I mean, the washes, they don't tide at all. They don't give
really.
Marks. They're an acrylic wash, so you can throw a little bit of water in them. So you might take a one or two more coats to get to, but it just lays so good. Such a nice color. I did a leather on a bust that I was doing for 48 and 48, and I didn't touch it with paint. It was all washes. It looks amazing. Just amazing.
What you doing?
Why'd you get big?
You absolutely called me to grab that. It's
what,
doable.
What are you thinking?
It's not, dude.
It's doable.
Dude, that's bigger than the Isle of Wight for crying out loud.
This is
huge.
It's doable.
It's not getting a base.
It's doable.
Yeah, this is doable as well. What isn't doable is your naked plastic KV.
It's doable.
On basically a wedding cake for crying out loud. For our listeners who are listening this long, basically if you go to Costco and order a party cake, that's the size of the base that Jensen's KV is sitting on.
I was gonna because you know how last year Am's Riv gave me the H39, that little Tamiya French tank.
Yeah.
He gave me that. I was just like, I could get that done. But I was just like, tell me, can you enter because someone else built it and I painted it. How does that work to a competition in AMS?
You can't. Well,
exactly.
Yeah, not from a competition standpoint. Now, I will say, I think at Scott Show you can do like the buddy build kind of thing. That's allowed. But traditional 4-letter agencies in this country of the United States do not allow those type of fun things. So
where's that spit, Jensen?
Who knows of a really good like dust video?
I was going to say Ian's.
Because
like
I can't do it like Sam.
Yeah,
paints that. I refuse to do that. Because that's really. I mean, this isn't going to be all that muddy. I just want it dusty.
Scott said workshop models. What is it?
Yeah,
Like,
workbench hobbies.
yeah.
Clayton has
Clayton's
quite a
got
few videos where he does dust
Because
effects.
it is so close to being done.
Yeah, that's
I
beautiful.
think you go Martin's T28 video.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's more mud than dust, though. That's my only thing.
His first Sherman is dusty.
Oh yeah, if you want to see spit.
Damn, that's an Airfix kit, son.
Yeah,
Dang.
it makes me excited to do Edward's actually good Spitfires. That are the rivets, because this is not great. But I was really unsure about the paint because I thought MRP's dark green for the RAF was way too dark. But now it seems, I mean, my lighting here is really but yeah, the ocean grey and the grey underneath, and yeah, all looks good. One thing I will give Airfix props of for the decals are very, very good. But that's because of Cargra.
I will say I'm very happy how this came out.
Oh, yeah.
Man, those contrast paints, they're where it's at. And you can see I changed the icicles, so now they're vertical. And then the 50 cal, I just bent that up a little bit in the front. So
I love the tone of that gate door thing. I mean, it's just, it really, really looks good.
So funny, that tone, somebody had just posted and they're like, oh, you got that off Martin's video. And I'm like, I didn't even realize he painted his door green. But what I found was looking back pictures that we took throughout the Ardennes, there's a ton of doors in that green color. Like that is like, that must be their, store branded, like just color that they sell in bulk to people who have like barn doors. Cause there were multiple places where we stopped and I took pictures of the buildings as well. And a lot of them were painted in that very vibrant green color. So yeah,
it's
pretty
very
smooth how it
green.
came out.
Yeah, very green. I like it though. I think it really kind of pops the OD, against the OD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to trying those contrasts. Though. When you said yesterday, I was like, "Get ball."
Yeah,
ball game tried.
They're great. I'm surprised. Like, gosh, somebody said it before. If you have a good figure, it paints itself, and like literally, it's hard to see because it's it won't focus on them, but like, gosh, so easy to paint these guys.
That's the airbrushed one, isn't it?
Yeah, I airbrushed it, and then I airbrushed black, then white from the top, and then I did a uniform coat of British uniform color.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found is that I'll use this uniform color, and then I grab desert sand as well, and I'll add them to a wet palette, and then I'll use the traditional third gen paints to mix with them. And I feel like the glazing and the color, like it doesn't dry chalky. It looks, it really, really settles. It just looks good, to be honest. And I've never had this type of success painting figures. So it's been a real unlock. But I think the thing I'm most proud of is the face on this guy. Like I haven't painted a face ever even close to this good. And I have Calvin Tan's video to thank. And I didn't even get through it all. I left out the 5 o'clock shadow and some of the deeper reds in his cheeks because I was like, I'm not going to put red in his cheeks because it's cold out. And then the 5 o'clock shadow, I wasn't going to add that because I thought this was a young dude. But like, man, it's kind of crazy just using the bare resin to like put glazes over the gray with those glazes. It really looks like a flesh tone. And then you start adding the third gen paints into the mix and it just, I don't know, it just works. It's really interesting.
How are you going to bring that base over? It's pretty big. Can you cut it down?
Such a great question. Yeah, it's getting trimmed. The base is quite tall because I keep the model and base separate. Side by side, it would go in that plastic container I brought to SMC. The base might not because it is quite tall now. So, but I don't really want to bring the nuclear football. We'll see. We'll see where we get to.
Well, yeah, we gotta work out who's taking what car and who's riding with who because we've got I think like 6 of us that are like leaving from the Northern Virginia area.
Well, sorry Scott, but it's funny because we were just discussing this last night, and Jackson was like, "Oh yeah, we're all just going to get in TJ's car." Like, no, we're not.
I can't fit everybody. I can comfortably fit 4.
You will.
Well, it depends. Like if you and Zach's kind of up in the air, but if you and Jackson want to ride with me, that's fine. I can drive. It's not a big deal.
I'm kind of picturing a Dumb and Dumber thing where Jensen is like literally duct taped to the roof.